it's Maryanne, and what a week I have had. Now, when I am recording this, a week ago on Thursday, I did my fantastic presentation, Yes and Less. If you couldn't be there, I wish you could have been there. I'll do it again. If you're not on my email list, get on my email list because I do great free workshops all the time. Anyway, almost immediately after giving a really great workshop with wonderful people in attendance, I got sick. And man, did I get sick. And I didn't know how sick I would be and how long I would be until about right now, a week later. This is a week later. And I'm going to tell you, it's been a week. And I've been flat on my back, sick. I missed everything. I missed meetings, emails. I even missed my own party in my own backyard. And in that space of like the frustration, the FOMO, there's a part of me that really lives with a lot of FOMO and the guilt. I found myself learning some really great lessons about release, surrender, balance, leadership, trust, all of those things that I wanted to share with you. Because I think there's a lot to take away from when just things collapse and that it's still okay. Okay, so as I said, about a week ago, I gave my talk. It was really great. And almost immediately, I started to feel bad. And I went down and I went down hard. Now, typically, if you go down with like a little bug, you're back in like a day or two. This was not my experience, but it was my anniversary earlier that week. And my husband and I booked this like riverboat cruise because I'm in St. Louis on the Tom Sawyer, and it's like a 2 hour cruise and dinner, and didn't do that. We have my family, we have two seafood holidays. Holy days of obligation, we call them crawfish in the spring and crabs in the fall. I host at my house, which is my privilege. I love doing it. And did not go to that. Had two bushels of crabs shipped into my backyard, and my whole family, which I'm the youngest of five. I have a large family. I have nieces and nephews and great nieces and nephews, and I laid in my bed the whole time. I missed trivia night. Okay, I can't even express to you how much I love Tuesday night trivia and my crazy little trivia family, this odd mix of people that have just gelled into a team. I missed trivia. So yes, I was not feeling well. And every day I would say, okay, tomorrow it'll be better. Tomorrow it'll be better. Or if I just push through, like if I just get up and go do something, it'll be better. And it wasn't better. It wasn't better until I actually surrendered. I stopped trying to do anything, stopped trying to push through, control it at all. I just decided I am going to get up when my body tells me it's okay to get up. I am building my strength back and I am on the mend because let me just tell you, my kids were about to call an ambulance when their mom wasn't at a party, especially a party with her family eating crabs. Like really, like especially my middle son, who he he's very sensitive. He tries to hide it, but he's very sensitive and he's very intuitive, and he was really worried. I told my sister I better start moving around because my kids are going to start freaking out. But anyway, so I'm feeling better. And now that I'm feeling better, I really just wanted to share with you some lessons that came through for me while I was, flat on my back. Oh, and by the way, I've watched every TV show that there ever was, and I have scrolled to the end of the internet. So ask me anything. Okay, lesson one is release the illusion of control. I was trying to control what was happening to me. I was like, okay, if I do this, I feel better. If I do that, I'll get through it. But we can't force outcomes. And this is such a lesson for us as leaders, as nonprofit leaders. Like, if I just work harder, I can fix it. We can't force donors. We can't force outcomes. We can't force health. Sometimes release is leadership. And I talk all the time about letting go of the result, letting go of the outcome. Nothing can assist in letting go of the outcome faster and easier than getting laid out flat on your back, right? Um, you can't always push through. Sometimes it's a let go and it's a pull back and it's an allowance. And that in itself can also allow for other people, and I'm going to talk about that in a second. but allow other people to step up and assist. Second, surrender isn't weakness. Surrender is wisdom. Choosing rest is a strategic decision. I made the strategic decision about 4 days into this thing that I could not kick. That the way I was gonna do this is just to give into it and stop trying to fight it. And this is a great lesson because your systems, your teams, your community, they don't collapse when you step back, right? When you take the lull, when you take a breath, when you take an inhale, you can take a break. You can let go for a few days. And so many times we hang on so tight and we're afraid to let go. We're afraid to even maybe vacation, or if we're vacationing, we're constantly in touch, so we're not really taking a break. I've mentioned her before, but I have a colleague here in St. Louis who took a 3 month sabbatical. I think it was last summer, maybe it was the summer before. Time flies so much. She's an ED of a very, very busy nonprofit, and she figured out how to do this. This is strategic decision, choosing rest. And now she's also allowing this for other people on her staff. Like it's like I think you have to like work a certain amount of time and then you get to be eligible for a sabbatical. Surrender isn't weakness, it's wisdom. And choosing rest is a strategic decision. I'm going to tell you one more quick story about this. I had a client who was so, so good, like one-on-one. She was a brilliant, beautiful relationship builder and fundraiser. And she said to me, Maryanne, sometimes I don't think I'm set out for this profession because I go to these they do these big galas and I'm just so exhausted after them. And she felt like because she was so exhausted after these galas and that she wasn't good with a bunch of people, that she should not be a fundraiser. And I said, okay, that is one way to look at it. I said the other way I think you can really look at this is that knowing that that event is a lot of energy for you and then budgeting time for the downtime, budgeting the curve down, budgeting the inhale after that event, knowing that your true gift is the one-on-one. So, when the surrender and the choosing rest was a strategic decision that after this event, she wouldn't put a lot of meetings on her calendar. She may take a day off or two to get her inhale, to get her energy back, so then she continue her one-on-one, her regular work. Okay, number three, this could be the hardest one for me, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Let go of perfection and timelines. Wow. Let go of perfection and timelines. The things you missed happened anyway. And you missing a meeting or event doesn't release your value or your impact. And I think this is critical for me. One of the things that I really want to do is just be there all the time. And I want to kind of control what happens. And especially like if you're an event planner and there's an event going on and you can't do anything about it, that's some crazy making stuff. And I'm laying in my bed thinking, did they turn the lights on the outside? Do they know how to do this? Do they know how to do that? But I was too sick to even care. Plus, I didn't even really want to look and see what was happening because honestly, it would just make me sad. So I said, you know what? If they don't turn the lights on, will anybody care? No, nobody will care. And I think we think our value comes from, we have to be there all the time. We have to show up all in all the ways. But missing a meeting or event doesn't erase your value or your impact. I had to move a lot of meetings. I had to move meetings with potential clients. And I think the old me would have just tried to power through those meetings because, oh, I don't want to reschedule a potential client. But the new me is like, you know what? I'm not showing up at my best. I'm not going to show them who I really am. And if they're for me, if that's for you, it'll be there, right? Nothing meant for you will will pass you by because you got sick, because you took a vacation. And a colleague a long time ago taught me that mantra: nothing that's meant for you will pass you by because, and enter what it is, because you got sick, because of the sabbatical, because of whatever happened. The things that are meant for you will find you, and just honoring that trust. Number four, this is just one of my favorite lessons, and I'm wondering how you're going to feel when you hear this. Balance comes from rhythm and not rigidity. Leadership is expansion and contraction. We honor rest as much as we honor the big pushes. Man, oh man, so much in our nonprofit space, right? We're just like go, 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 expand, 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 expand. There's no contraction, there's no inhale. I look at it like an accordion, like you expand and contract, and you expand, when needed, but then you can contract and slow down the pace. But we want a rhythm, right? Balance comes from rhythm, not rigidity, not forcing things to happen. Honoring the rest as much as the pushes, honoring the ebb and the flow. Again, nothing that's meant for you will pass you by if you take a break, if you take an inhale. In fact, it's more likely to find you. Somebody once told me, when you slow down, the universe speeds up. So I'm expecting a lot of things to come my way very soon because I was the slowest I've ever been. But when you slow down, you give a chance for the universe to speed up because what you're doing is you're activating your trust. You're activating your trust in the goodness that's coming your way, in your receptivity and abundance and all the love and support that you have around you, that it's all good. It's all okay. It's not going to be okay. It's all okay. Number five, self-compassion fuels compassion. The more you care for yourself, the more you care for others, and the more your model of care. You can't, you cannot give from the well, right? The Rumi quote that I use all the time, we give from the overflow, not the depths of the well. I pushed those meetings off because my well was dry. I had nothing left to give. I knew I wouldn't be showing up my best. You can't work from an empty cup. A lot of times I meet executive directors and they say, well, I want my team to get training before I get training. And I love how much they love their people and want their people to have, and they want to feel good about, that their team has adequate training. But a good leader sets the temperature. A good leader is the model for what they want to see. And my philosophy is good leaders go first. And when you stretch, when you grow, when you fill your cup, now you're coming from a place of energy and excitement. And so think about that the next time you want to kind of like give yourself the back seat and say, well, I'm fine. I want training for everyone else, not for me. You are worthy of it. You are worthy of the training. You are worthy of the investment. You get to care for yourself because the more you're compassionate with yourself, the more you have grace and love for yourself, the more you can have it for others. The last thing I want to say is number 6 is trust. Trust, trust, trust. Trust in the systems that you have established. When I got sick, I thought I'd feel better. I didn't. I texted my sister and my brother and said, I am down. I can't do anything. And what would make me the happiest if you all just ate these dang crabs in my backyard? And my sister texted back and she said, no problem. We got you. Okay. We got you. And I said, we need, some chips and dip and ice and soda and all this stuff. And my sister's like, got it. Just, I am neglecting to mention my husband, who was absolutely fabulous through this whole thing, did a bunch of setup, takedown, everything, ran. It's like when you're hosting, it's a lot of like, oh, where's the foil or where's that kind of stuff. And he just did all that and he did a great job. And also, I activated my siblings as well. So activating your support networks and just trusting that people are going to show up for you, trusting that people have your back, and trusting it may not be exactly the way you did it, but it got done and everyone had a great time, right? And it is sometimes I would say there's a part of me that struggles with trust. Not that anyone disappointed me or anything like that. It's just I'm like, I can do it. I'll do it. I don't want to, I pride myself on people coming to my home for an event or a gathering and their blood pressure lowering, and everything's like ready for them and open and fun and it's all easy. And anybody who hosts anything knows that takes a lot of work to get there. And just to surrender and to trust that my folks could take care of themselves, right? Trust that your people can do it. Trust that your donors are to come through for you. Tapping into the trust of the support that you have. And instead of doubting what, because there's feelings and there's facts, and the feelings could be, oh, I don't know what's going to happen. But the fact is, people show up, the money shows up, and it's there for you. And so trust and surrender, trust in your team, trust in your people. They can step up. And when you go down, you really can give, and you surrender, you really can give an opportunity for other people to shine. When you step aside, other people get to glow, right? And even if you didn't mean to step aside, you got sick, but even in a sabbatical or a vacation, you're giving an opportunity for somebody else to grow their skill set. Okay, let's review real quick our lessons in being flat on your back for a week. So the lesson one is release the illusion of control, but because you never had it anyway, and you can't force outcomes, you can't force donors, you can't force health. Sometimes release is leadership. Number two, surrender isn't weakness, it's wisdom. Choosing rest is a strategic decision. It is a strategic decision that almost all the time, creates great wisdom and productivity on the other side of it. Number three, let go of perfection and timelines. Ooh. Let go of perfection and timelines. Whatever you missed happened anyway. It's all okay. Nothing's going to pass you by. Number four, balance comes from rhythm, not rigidity. Leadership is expansion and contraction. Go with the flow, right? Go with the follow the free energy. And number five, self-compassion fuels compassion. Be kind to yourself. And number six, trust. Trust your team, trust the community that you've created, trust your support network to deliver for you when you need it, because they will. And you're giving them an opportunity to deliver at a higher level. All right. Here's a little question for you to kind of noodle on. Let's see if you want to do this. One thing you could release this week, an expectation, a timeline, a piece of guilt that would give you more balance. What could you let go of? I ask people all the time, what could you let go of? We let go of what no longer serves us to make room for what does. What could you let go of? What one thing you could release this week? Some like control, timeline, expectation, guilt. What could you just let go of? Stop doing. Or practice self-compassion and really thinking about the voices in your head and the story they're telling you, and having more grace and compassion with yourself. We give all kinds of grace and compassion to everyone else, but we're so strict with ourselves. So thank you for listening and allowing me to share this lesson. I hope you benefited from it. I sure did. And leadership isn't about never stopping. And I feel like that's kind of what we're taught, both in our capitalist sort of patriarchal go, go, go society, and doubly in nonprofit, where we feel so responsible for so many people. But it's not about never stopping. It's about knowing when to pause. And if this resonated, share it with someone else who might need a reminder that release and surrender are powerful leadership tools that you can access at any time, right? They're not weakness. They are strategic decisions that actually, in the long run, make us more powerful and productive than we ever thought we could be. All right, that's it, you guys, for me and this episode of The Influential Nonprofit. Am I going to go take a nap? I am. And listen, if you want to connect with me, my link is in the show notes. I'd love to hear from you. And I'm doing a new thing right now. I'm trying something new, and it is a 4-session coaching package where I go through the 4 stages of the donor pipeline: awareness, interest, connection, and action. And we're going to do 4 sessions. They're 90 minutes each. Bam, 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 $9.97. Bargain. And you can bring anybody you want in your organization into these sessions, but we're going to look at how you build awareness, how you move people from awareness to interest, how you move people from interest to connection, and how you move people from connection to action. And we're going to tighten up that pipeline just in time for 4th quarter. And so you can start rocking those 1st quarter 2026 goals. Love you like always. And I'll see you next time on the Influential Nonprofit. And if you're interested in that package, just book a time with me. We can talk about it. See you next time.